make life on your own. Remember that Jah just by your side. For I was a soul who was lost, and my life was in dismay. For among evil forces in which I played, guns and ammunition were my chosen way of life. With God-fearing people I chose to strive. For all of the lives that are taken, they can never be replaced. But still just
all right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Cocoa Chess with me, your host, Marian Dozier of CocoWire.net, the website that provides news, events, and useful information to communities of color in Palm Beach County. That's CocoWire.net if you want to know what's happening here with us in Palm Beach County. And as we do on this show and on CocoWire.net, we will continue to tell the stories of our communities, of the African diaspora, which, as you all are, I'm sure, aware, are African Americans, Caribbean Blacks, and Native Africans, so that we all get a better sense of how rich and interesting our communities are. And as we discussed last week, August is National Black Business Month, which was created in 2004 by a Black historian and a longtime Black businessman to celebrate and support Black-owned businesses and to push for good government policy that helps the more than 2 million businesses that people of color, those of us from across the diaspora, currently own across this country. Now, that's according to census data from 2012, which is the most recent data available in that category. But to be honest, I think those numbers are much, much bigger today. But as we also said last week, we'll talk with a Black business owner every Wednesday this month, including today. Last week, we talked with the president-elect of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County, who was perfect for the discussion. Now, today's guest is also perfect for this issue in this discussion. Nyota King is the founder of All About Us, which sells authentic African arts, fashion, and jewelry, and regularly hosts events related to the diaspora in some way, and that also provides a platform for other Black entrepreneurs to pitch what they do or sell. Indeed, Madam Africa, as I call her, she's hosting the Community Blackout Market on August 22nd here in West Palm Beach, which is about small business entrepreneurs, yes, but also celebrates the life of Marcus Garvey, a native Jamaican who was all about racial uplift and all about our return to Africa and all about Black business. He died at age 52 in 1940. The Garvey discussion will be viral, of course, thanks to you know what, but the business owners who participate will be on site and will be able to sell their products or pitch their work to viewers who can then call and place an order. Nyota King was born in Durham, North Carolina, and raised in West Palm Beach. But when I tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen, Miss King is from Africa, okay? She is African. That's why we call her Madam Africa, because she absolutely loves the continent. She wasn't born there, she wasn't raised there, and she's only traveled there twice in her life so far. Her father, John Stroman, whom I love to call the King of Africa, lives in West Palm Beach, but has traveled to and lived in more than 10 African countries, including Senegal, Nigeria, and Morocco, and no doubt transmitted that love for our homeland to his daughter. She has herself traveled twice to the continent, including one trip last year that she organized and led. Indeed, it was her intent to do a second trip to the Gambia for 10 days in July last month, but, thanks to you know what, that trip was unfortunately canceled. But we'll find out later if she plans to try again to do a trip in the future. Nyota King, Madam Africa, founder of All About Us, welcome to Cocoa Chats. Yay. Thanks. Thank you so much for coming. Now, take us back to that time in your life when you first learned about Africa. Do you remember? Was it that long ago?
Yes, I like to say that I have been immersed in the culture since birth.
Really?
Beginning with my name. My name is Nyota Asabuhi, and it is Swahili, and it means star of the morning.
Really?
So I was born into it.
And that's what your mama and daddy named you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So from way back then.
From
birth.
then, yes, from birth. Far as I knew, I grew up around cultural people, island people, international people of color of the diaspora, and so it didn't feel foreign to me. It felt natural, nice and comfortable when I did go to Africa.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was like some of the amenities were a shock, or an adjustment, I would say.
Right.
But as far as interacting with people and understanding the culture and the traditions, I was very comfortable.
Wow. And how was it that you decided that you wanted to do business with, so to speak, with your homeland?
It all started with a handbag.
Oh.
So I'm a purse fiend. I love purses.
I love the one that you have, by the way.
Thank you. I got this on my first trip.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But
yes.
I went to my father. He brought back a handbag from one of his trips, and I was like, "Ooh, this is nice."
How old were you? Do you remember about?
Oh, this was in 2016. This
was
recent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Next thing I knew, I had a whole box of merchandise to sell, and I was selling it, and it was beautiful, colorful expressions of Africa.
Yeah.
And that's what motivates me to keep going in my business. I want to share my experience, my travel experience. I want to share my travel experience through the colors and the fashion that express Africa.
And on that note, how do we typically respond? We African Americans, we Caribbeans, when we see all this African stuff, out on tables. I mean, how do we respond? Are we open? Usually,
it depends on the people. It depends on the people. I would say it's like a 60-40 mix. A 60-40 mix. Majority of the people, of African American people or black people, are interested in my merchandise,
and they know that this stuff came because your stuff is coming directly from
Africa. I'm not buying my stuff wholesale from China or off a website. That is my purpose, to stimulate the economy over there and over here. It'll be a beneficial relationship. Right. They're getting the work, they're providing for their family, and then we're buying products that we enjoy that we can use over here and that are fashionable and express us as black people, because we're colorful people.
And smart and hardworking.
Yeah.
But then now, if you've only been to Africa like twice here since you've become an adult essentially, so how do you get the products that you sell?
So I have connections. So when I went over there in my first initials, that was my mission. Yeah. To go over there and make contact
and connect
with different vendors. I have other relationships with people there where I could reach out to them and get them. And then thanks to my father, he knows a lot of people. He's the plug. We connect on that basis.
Okay. So when you went over there those couple of times, you made sure that you connected with wonderful.
Correct.
And so why was it important that you sell African goods? I mean, because we African Americans.
At first it wasn't. At first it was because I've been that business-minded person all my life, trying to hustle here, hustle there, but
you are black.
But nothing really was a passion. And when I started seeing these colors and then the techniques that these people use to make it, these are handmade items. They have a sewing machine, but it's not as advanced as the products or the way we would make it here. They're not in China, or in China. They're not in the mass factories making manufacturing things. Yeah. So when I saw the love and the passion that the people put into this, it just drew me in more because these are unique items. Yeah. They're they're expressive items. You
High
know, the
quality.
color, they're high
Yep.
quality items. Yeah, the colors, the patterns, they all speak to me, and I feel like they can relate to other people that look like me.
Oh,
Yes.
And so, what's most important to you, though? Is it making money, or is it pitching Africa, or is it both? Or give me a sense.
It's both. To be honest, I mean, no one's in business to just be in business. You know, it's at the end of the day, it is about making money and being successful in your business. However, I do want to promote the positivity and break that image, the negative image that Africa has, that it's poor, that the people are uneducated, which is totally false. When I went over there the first time, I was at the hotel. They had a little event in the back, and it was a car show. I seen two sisters walk up, high-priced cars, Jags, Maseratis and stuff. Old girl just pointed, I want that one, and pulled it off the stand. So there is wealth, but the mass media shows that it's poor, they're malnutrition. Now there is problems.
And as our orange president said, a shithole country.
Well,
oh, sorry.
But
sorry.
I think we might be experiencing some of that now. So,
but yeah,
the shoe's on the other foot now. But
I mean, did you ever think badly of the continent? You never did.
I never thought badly of the continent because I was always exposed to it. However, I never fathomed that I would actually travel to Africa.
Yeah. And then and now that you've gone, I mean, has it changed your perceptions at all, or changed how you feel, or
it does.
Made you want to move over there?
Yes, I can't wait to get back. Yes, it has definitely opened up my eyes in many ways. Like, it made me appreciate Africa. It's not often that an African American goes to Africa, and I experienced seeing where my ancestors came from, standing on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. That's kind of an emotional feeling for me because I could feel it.
Oh, God bless you.
I could feel them. The ancestors,
and the connectedness, and
correct.
And that's ladies and gentlemen, tears are falling from her eyes as she thinks about our homeland. And I know how you feel because, and I've only been there once, and I went, about work. But what is it about that continent that's got those tears falling out of your eyes?
Because I think, as an African American, we're like a potted plant. We have roots, but we don't know where our roots came from. We don't know where we stem from. So actually going to the place and knowing this is where I came from, that's a different feeling. And I feel like as African Americans, we should always strive to go home at least once, because other races make it their point to teach their children, this is where you came from. This is where great grandpa George had his business or whatever. They know the town, they know the country they came from. We're the only ones that don't know, and I think that's what that's a hindrance from us growing to our future, because we don't know our past.
And I think that's a really good point. And sometimes I wonder, Ms. Jillian, I want to ask you this question. I wonder if the connectedness to Africa, if that's something too that the Caribbeans see as important. Because and I know most African Americans probably don't, but I do, and she does. I'm just curious. Because y'all have y'all's own countries that people.
Yeah, so we know as the islands as home, right?
Yeah.
But I think even on a deeper level, we really still try and maintain the fact that we're Africans. Marcus Garvey, my grandmother, was one of she used to sell newspapers, the UNIA newspapers for Marcus Garvey. My grandmother sold it.
Wow.
For him. So there was a connected growing up a connection for the Africans, because all the other races, like the Indians, call themselves as East Indians. They come from the East, not the American Indians. The Chinese knew who they were. The Spanish knew who they were. And so the Africans, at least in Trinidad, and I know the other islands also, they did and maintained their identity as African. I have to say one thing that I've observed in as being a Trinidadian. I find that the African Trinidadians don't necessarily marry outside of their race that much. They marry black Africans like themselves.
Yeah.
Other races, they may mix and mingle, with other much, but I find that the Africans, they would either marry an Indian or they marry a African. And, so yeah, we identify. But I wanted to say something, that point, that door of no return. Everybody that I've spoken to that has visited that door has had that same experience there. And even when they talk about it, that same energy comes back. My brother talked about standing in front of there, just weeping. They couldn't move him in front of that door of no return. It is emotional from what I understand.
And, that's funny because there was an NPR interview with this African American woman who went too, and she even she was crying on the air because she said it was just such an effect on it, just explained just so much.
So
about us. Now, tell me why did you want to take those trips and take people to Africa as well? Like not just you going, not just you doing your thing, but you wanted to take more of us with you.
Yeah, to share that experience so they could feel what I feel. So because as we grow more integrated with each other
across the diaspora.
Yeah, across the diaspora, I feel like part of our identity phase. And going home and knowing your identity helps you maintain your identity,
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to share. I feel like there could be a lot of business connection. There's a lot of business opportunity for Africa. We need each other. Together, we the unstoppable team.
Yep.
And I feel like young entrepreneurs, that's the place they need to go in order to grow their business, fulfill their business.
Really?
Yeah, because...
give me a sense of why you feel that way.
I feel that way because there's less government involvement in companies there. So they would have the freedom, and they would spend less of their money paying taxes.
Less policing.
Yeah. I'm trying to dance around it, but yeah. They would pay
policing.
less of their money in taxes. That way they could spread the wealth around. Not saying keep all your money and hoard it, but when you have more money to spend, you can do more things. But when you're taxed higher, you have less to spend. So that's why I want to get more younger people, more 30 to 40-year-olds going to Africa so they could get that business, so they could turn into that entrepreneur and leave that legacy for their family.
So are you African or are you American?
I like to say I'm an African living in America.
That's it. That's it right there.
Yes, because like I said, I've always been exposed to the culture. Yeah. So it's not anything
Thanks
new
to your father.
or yeah. So I just feel more comfortable there,
Do you know how your father's interest in Africa started? Do you have any sense of that? Just curious.
A little bit. He's always been part of the movement. From
Capital
long
M.
time. Okay. Yeah, long time ago, he was helping with. He's a printer by trade, so he would help print newsletters and brochures to help the movement. And then he also was in the Merchant Marines, and he was stationed in Kenya.
Oh,
so that's where me and my sister get our names from. We both have Swahili names. In Kenya, they speak Swahili. So we got our names from there. He was there throughout his merchant marine career. Then he went to work, but now he's retired.
But okay. So if there is any one thing about the continent from your experiences that you would want us to know, what would that be?
Don't believe the mainstream hype. Go to Africa and experience it yourself. Get the experience for yourself. Know the facts yourself. Do the research. Now, Africa is not, it's not like going to New York. You're not going to get the same amenities. You're not going to get the same, things. But do your research before you go. Know your pros and cons. Like everywhere, there's trouble everywhere. So know the places that are more more stable. More stable. Go, explore there first.
You mean like the different countries or different areas
the different countries, because each one is different and they have different political parties, different, governments.
Right.
Yeah.
Political landscape.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what's in terms of your business doing what you do? What's most difficult about it?
What's most difficult? The shipping.
Oh, getting it here.
Getting it here. I do have a very reliable vendor there now. So
in which country?
He's in Ghana. Okay. And that's like the popping place now. So it's the things that I'm getting are the latest fashion. They're high quality. They inspect it before it leaves. It's everything is good about that.
Okay. And then what do you most enjoy about what you do?
I think educating the masses. Letting people know what it really is.
Okay, and so speaking of that, then tell us about your event that's coming up August 22nd, when you're going to be celebrating, Marcus Garvey, who is, Jamaican, as we know, who was Jamaican, I guess. But give us a sense of what that event is going to be.
So the Community Blackout Markets, we started that, me and some fellow entrepreneurs, to try to stimulate the economy in our local community. So we have local vendors there, hand selected because of the quality and the selection of their products. This is going to be an online event because of the current situation that's going now.
Gee, wonder what that is.
Normally it would be a outdoor market. The people would come to. We have live entertainment, local performers getting their talent out. So it's a twofold thing. We're going to do the economic part of it and the talent part of it. We want to get that out, the arts out as well, because there's a lot of talented people around here.
And then what's the Marcus Garvey part?
We're going to have a discussion about his prevalence in today's society, because he was all for the push to go back to Africa.
Black Star Line.
Yep.
Yeah. He was all for that push for blacks to be about black businesses, to move back home.
Yep.
Africa for the Africans.
Yes. Yes.
And that would be all of us.
Yeah. Africa for the Africans.
Africa for the Africans, yes.
So y'all are going to
we're going to talk about that and how it relates in today's society, whether, is it still relevant, should we do that?
On August 22nd. Okay. Yeah. And so, and you also, I failed to bring this up, you've got a new endeavor that you started, Morning Star Beverage Company, which sells these naturally made teas and juices.
Yes.
Why'd you start doing that?
I kind of enjoy making the teas and juices. I changed my eating habits, and I wanted to promote healthy eating habits and nutrition for people who don't know. So that's part of what I do. The moringa is one of the most beneficial plants that you could have.
The moringa?
Yes, moringa plant.
I got a tree in my yard.
I never even heard of it.
You could eat everything on that tree, from the root,
from the root to the leaves.
Stem to the leaves.
So how you know about that tree?
I got it.
She's island. She's island, man.
Well, and that's something that I've always said, though. It seems like the Caribbeans are more connected to Africa than we are. And I don't know if it's because y'all, you know, are closer.
Listen, I want to remind you that I grew up in America.
Oh, okay.
And my sisters are not me. They're older than me. I'm the youngest, and they're not me. So I'm a naturalist. That's just what I like.
Yeah.
So they're not me though.
But you still seem more connected to who we are and to Africa.
And you know what? We got to give it to the parents. It's the parents who really raise us. And we see them do, so we do.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Yeah. All right, Miss Lady, we just got a couple minutes left. Let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, and if they want to buy a pair of earrings or some naturally made juice. How they can get in touch with you, Miss Lady.
So you could get in contact with me. I got a major announcement. I'm so excited about this. I've had some challenges with the website, but drum roll, please. I have a new website that will be launching next Friday. So that is August 21st. I will have a website. The name of the website is shopallaboutus.com.
All right.
Shopallaboutus.com. So you could buy merchandise there. If you're local, you could still most of the time I've been doing business off Facebook or Instagram, social media. You can still reach me there.
Okay.
Facebook,
and telephone
All
number?
About Us.
Yeah.
Facebook, All About Us. Instagram, Shop All About Us.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much, Madam Africa, Nyota King, for coming on to Cocoa Chats today. I really appreciate it. You're just such an interesting person. And thank you guys for listening in. I am Marian Dozier, your host of Cocoa Chats and of CocoaWire.net.
And she learned how to count down. Go ahead. See you guys next week on Cocoa Chats.
Yay.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
You getting that. You
What?
getting that.
I finally